Ladies and gentlemen, big versus bad news Eagles. It's time as we jump into Dust2. I do like what Hawk is bringing up here, talking about the op dominance that we got out of syrsoN. You know, Kassad's saying it himself, man, it's a whole new world. If we're on LAN in front of a huge crowd and syrsoN's putting up them numbers. So we'll see. We'll see. Bad news Eagles. I think getting over the hump of, again, visa issues, the drain of online events and everything they had going on back where they made their names at a major. Keto. He's very quickly going to drop rigoN and look for a little bit more. He's got a teammate in Sin over towards the sidelines of Car, and Sin connects those headshots. GXX finally gets something back as he slides wide with the kill to Crimbo2, but it's that third man in Sin. 3 kills in the pistol for the newest member of the big clan.
Yeah, we're obviously pretty familiar with him coming out of the Academy League, and I think I've seen some games where it's like, okay, a little bit rough, a little bit nervous, but definitely some big rounds as well. And that's obviously very positive for Big, who faveN, before Crimbo came on, was kind of the next biggest German talent, and then Crimbo came on, and it was like, Crimbo's the kid to watch, but then they're both playing together, they're both very new to the team. They both have many years ahead of them and probably not in their peak years at the moment either. So it just felt like losing faveN, that might be a little bit too much to stomach, but I think the Big Academy roster has done a very good job of developing that talent, readying them for an opportunity just like this one. And since they are playing in a comfort zone, I'd say the map veto definitely favors the Germans at the moment. So they'll be happy to know that. Keto also had a pretty solid map just a few hours ago versus Furia. He'll be feeling good. And yeah, for syrsoN, top 10 player, but in the online period, and absolutely has a discrepancy that must be mentioned at any chance about him online versus on LAN. But the great thing about today is that with that win over Furia, an enormous comeback, the op dominance from syrsoN, it is something that if he wasn't sure if he was going to be nervous, well, now he knows he doesn't have to be. He knows that when he is playing focused, that he can be himself, and when we know he's himself, he is just a very close to an elite opper, right? If he's in his comfort zone, and in that 2020 period, it was like him and Poison were both vying for a spot to be in the conversation alongside ZywOo, Simple, Shiro, and like, who's next? And it was like one of those two. And of course, there was a bit of a drop-off after that, but still someone we're looking to. The first German in CSGO to crack the top 10 on HLTV is no small feat. So, well, this getting out of challengers would be a statement from him and would absolutely change the conversation around him.
Scout for GXX. Glocks all around him. And nothing towards these mid doors. GXX would love a target, but he's going to have to get to that A site if he wants one. Not sure about everybody else, but to be honest, man, I was coming in with low expectations for Big. I was worried that with the stand-in and recent form, they wouldn't be picking up many W's. But the fact that they came back versus Furia, such a lead in front of such a crowd, I mean,
and such a Caserado.
Yeah, we got to give him credit. So credit where it's due. Bad news Eagles, they'll grab a bomb plant on this A site, but without a kill, not one at all. This one slips to Big's favor. 2-0 start.
Yeah, almost no utility, no upgraded guns. That's a very solid round for BNE to score a plant coming off of Cat. So, man, I'm watching a little bit of the EU RMR. Of course, we were watching a simultaneously run RMR for the Americas region. Just seeing a couple of the games from BNE. They were playing very explosive, very cohesive CS, and they just look terrifying in some of their games. And I'm not surprised to see them competing on the bigger stage once again in back-to-back majors. Still looking for that org, by the way. So if you're looking for a team to pick up, you know, BNE should be at the center of your radar, I think. Having bootstrapped yourself and dealing with all of the things that we just mentioned, where they had some visa issues and a lot of the logistical things, that can be a nightmare. And when other teams have that support and you have to go up against that, well, that can just take all of your energy. So, yeah, very commendable for BNE for holding it together in these trying times.
Getting back to where they need to be, right? I feel like just this is what they do. Back-to-back majors. I feel like some would have doubted it. And looking at that RMR, I thought Maybe that was just, you know, the glorious one run, but no easy feat to make it back-to-back. I think parallels to be drawn between them and like IHC for that reason, but obviously doing it from the EU region. Hard mode.
Woo.
syrsoN snaps one into one Flotro, so Scout finding its victim and chopping down another player off of this first gun round from B&E.
Yeah, maybe syrsoN's not done for the day just yet. It's got a little extra juice in the tank. And into this 5v3, looking like a similar strat to the last round. Better guns, but less players. I don't know which one I would rather have. Probably this still. 3 AKs, lots of utility. Let's see if they can get that bomb planted at least.
They drop sinnopsyy down onto the ramp. Oh, that's going to catch tabseN off. And syrsoN's got a face full of lead. Nice double entry here from sinnopsyy. That's going to open the door for Bad News Eagles. So on an individual level, he's done his job. Singular man advantage now at this point. And if sinnopsyy doubles back towards Cat, look at this. Big chance for a 2K from him as well. They're still concerned about that pit player, but at least they know where the pieces are at, and they're going to fixate onto Crimbo. We've got a 1v1. The newcomer in Sin popped by GXX.
Damn, and that's that explosivity that I was talking about with B&E. A beautiful few different scenarios where they had to keep changing what they were going for, right? Bomb is going down, they're taking Cat control, the Cat player shows up but knows he's going to delay. They both go for a high-low swing on the long player, no chance to fight back whatsoever. sinnopsyy off the great flashes, drops into CT in the initial attack. 3v5, B&E pull this off, and that's what's so exciting to watch about these guys.
Any round, any moment, it seems like they got that. syrsoN, though, off dominance, perhaps, throughout this series. We'll see how he can perform, but he gets the better of the Scout. sinnopsyy was looking for the contact, dies. And we'll get B&E try to transition into the boost towards tunnels. If these CTs aren't careful, oh, they could have walked right into that, but syrsoN reacts fast enough, takes one Flotro off the top of the boost. Are we talking back-to-back 3v5s?
Back-to-back 3v5. Well, let's see if they go back to Cat as well in this 3v5, because it doesn't feel like they've got a magnetism towards it. Still got a full kit of utility on GXX as well. Surely they'll have to innovate to get away with it once again. Yeah. We've got big full attention here at this late round option.
Variation in the setup as well, right? Don't let B&E drop down CT.
tabseN's readying his flash already.
keto could just stiff arm them as they tried to come around this corner.
The great part about the setup for the CT side is even if they don't come, you just update with the flash and see that no one's there. So we'll see if this fake does anything. Smoke comes down. They're coming out mid.
Sin under pressure. rigoN's going to get the better of him.
Oh, now they separated the defense totally. 3 players towards the A side as they look to crunch on B, but tabseN kills one in mid.
And syrsoN back plat, comfortable as ever. 2 shots, 2 kills, and a 3rd round to the big side. As B&E, unfortunately, can't get those back-to-back 3vx's.
Great start to the LAN here for syrsoN. When we look at the stats, that after today, he might be near the top of the board in terms of consistency. Obviously, syrsoN is going to be in #1 spot. I'm going to spoil that for you. You haven't been watching. He has been in God mode.
Yeah. That ain't going anywhere.
Which is also kind of a cool conversation around Furia, who, right, you know, playing in front of a crowd, the most pressured team here, probably. Like, even Imperial are actually not as pressured as Furia are at the moment because the expectations for themselves are so much higher. Top 10 team, right? When we look at these 2 teams, Big have an excuse. They don't have FOB, and Bad News Eagles, hey, we don't even have an org. You know what I mean? And the cool part about Bad News Eagles is they don't have an org, and they get themselves to these positions.
Yep.
That's the kind of team you want to get behind, right? They're doing the hard part, and you know they're not doing it for the money. They're doing it. They're playing for pride. They're trying to be better, and they're proving it. But Big are not going to be an easy team to stop. And yeah, that op dominance that Haka pointed out is a really important factor, especially on Dust2. It is so overpowered to be able to control mid from both sides as a T side or CT side opper. And if syrsoN is playing well, that's going to be clearly the biggest problem.
We got 3 bodies stacked up here. Crimbo, he's going to get himself 2.5 on the kill feed. And in an instant, that bomb just goes reeling back towards middle. keto's going to fire long range, deals with the close player first, and finishes off both. So sure enough, easy 4th one here for Big. You know, they were prepared for that long hit. If Crimbo wasn't the one-man army that he was, there was still layers to that one. So Bad News Eagles have to take it on the chin and move through to round 6. The rebuy shining through.
Yeah, it feels like apart from 1 or 2 games, most of the matches today have been enormous CT sides, followed by enormous CT side comebacks. And yeah, Big were obviously participating in one versus Furia, their own comeback over on Vertigo. But you know they're going to be quite comfortable here at CT side Dust2 as well. Plays like this with so much information just put a ton of pressure, invisible pressure on the T side. If they don't scout syrsoN, taps it out as he's walked off of Cat. And then they'll start putting it together. Nade goes deep in the tunnels to let him know that he was there. And this is that G2 bait, the Alexi B bait, that even Hooksy ended up using. But how many times are people going to fall for it?
So far, nothing. syrsoN waits and waits. Flash goes over top, so Cat now under question. And with that utility presence coming through on Catwalk, the long players need to peel away. Ooh, on Flotro, point blank, and sinnopsyy right there with him. So 2 easy pickups, 4 big inside tunnels. It's going to leave B&E back to what they've used and succeeded with before. It's the push-up Catwalk in the 3v5. They've got that drop down. GXX hunting elsewhere, but this time, Big come through clean.
Yeah, they're wicked, man. They've just got so many layers right now. And again, the play from tabseN, early information inside a middle into that deep tunnel nade, into, okay, we kind of have an idea where your setup is. You're clearly not inside of mid or anywhere near it. And then they put pressure over on the B site. That gets called out right away, playing close positions, not letting B&E get away with their aggressive lurks, which is a big theme of their T-side play. And syrsoN even here updating info persistently as they try to cross Cat, where we've seen them late round 3vx. They've tried to end this way more than once.
Crimbo gonna hold on to long yet again. This time by way of flames. Catches GXX on the follow-up, has now been left to his own devices with the bomb just outside the long doors, but we watch syrsoN as he easily topples these measly pistol peaks. Little flash attempt to try and get fancy, but keTo's got them both. 6-1. And again, barring that 3 versus 5 into the B site, or excuse me, A, we haven't had anything from B&E.
Yeah, it's true. And even that round should have been grim, right? They had to go work overtime between the 3 players left over and then make like 6 right moves in a row in order to pull that out. So when we zoom out, it's a heroic effort. It's amazing because it was unlikely, and it's also a flash in the pan. The energy can be there on land for B&E, and I believe them when they say that. They get better when they play in this environment. I think Maniac said the other day they're like, I can't remember what the exact line was. I'm going to butcher it because he's so much more eloquent than I am, but it was like, they're like Brazilians, basically, you know, in terms of their energy.
Sure.
In a LAN environment.
It was curious in that interview to hear Juan Flotro say, like, oh, we just love the LAN experience, or like the, the environment so much more, because, outside of the last major, there's no big events that B&E have played on LAN.
But they played events from there.
Ones.
Yeah, well, they played even their online events in a LAN environment, right?
Sure. Yeah, side by side, shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
Just like keTo's first 2 kills. Back to back inside those tunnels.
Very underrated play from keTo today overall as well.
Get a little creep out from rigoN, and a pickup. Down goes Sin. Crimbo's going to activate on long. He gets stuffed by sinnopsyy, now suddenly tabseN in an awkward spot. Blinded, recovers.
Wow.
He catches the kill to sinnopsyy. We've got 2 Ts pressing through the CT spawn. And keTo is nowhere to be found, but his impact's massive, and he could still catch them off on long. rigoN's watching, and keTo comes through those doors, not ready for the gunfight. It's B&E's second with the mid to A.
Mid to A this time around, jumping into CT, and yeah, how are you supposed to read that attack? So they try to keep it fresh with that move, and keTo's kills are in vain earlier on in that round. Here's how it all began, really putting a fork in that default, but the kills back from B&E, they fight the whole way. They fight fast too. It's kind of like an Outsiders with just a higher tempo, in the sense of they don't think they've lost until the round is definitely over. Where some would resign. syrsoN now in a compromised spot. Not even seeing a lot of support for him to get out here, but he does have his full kit to work with, and they're going to spam him exiting the doors. We've seen Big be magnetized here into mid control more than a few times above the minute mark.
Feel that crack in the armor of Big CT side right now. But Big look to get active. A flash maybe for Crimbo. He's going to play counter flash. syrsoN pushed off, but comes right back at it. So nicely done by Crimbo. Stares at the wall until it's his turn to take him down. Man advantage. kido into middle. Oh, the fact he gets GXX while sinnopsyy watches. But now the CT is left. Oh, and syrsoN burnt to a crisp. Bad News Eagles stagnant outside of this B site. They've got Sin just beneath the window, waiting and waiting for these Ts to push through, and sure enough, through door they'll go. Meant to be caught off. Sin gets the kill. sinnopsyy trying to hone in on this, and tabseN's got the health advantage with 20 seconds on that clock. sinnopsyy looks for the kill through doors, looks to grab that bomb back. tabseN inching his way closer, peeks, and both players taking damage. tabseN falls it back, and with a headshot at the 10-second mark, it's Big in with another.
Wow, that's tabseN showing us how to win a fight when you get spotted. Backing up, but just to the point where he thinks he's gone for real. He's going to be hiding behind that box, waiting for the post plant. No, he takes another confident off angle and comes right back into it. That's kind of fighting fire with fire when it comes to B&E, I feel like. And Sin had to work hard to get his first kill. Could have maybe put that sight hold together by himself if he was a little bit more clean on the first one. But B&E, I like how they waited outside of mid to make it seem like they could have fallen back, because their mid rounds are extremely fast. And it's 7-2, another kill here, another low buy for B&E.
You want to go through that? Flacho tries to play his hand. Cut down by kido instead. sinnopsyy looking for the gun, but kido's already dealt with that. No chance, bucko. He can still play the bomb. Now it's rigoN.
Yeah, and they see it's totally gone.
Damn it.
Very smart of tabseN to just do that early. And now they don't have to babysit it.
So Bad News Eagles, the 55-second mark, gonna just collect themselves inside the tunnels. An ominous grenade just as you start to get into position. Try us, says kido and Sin, sitting inside this B site, and Bad News Eagles will. Timing could have gone better. They are met by the incendiary, forced into the fight. Sin gets in with the kill and an assist. And kido continues to climb that scoreboard, man. Leaps and bounds above the rest. A 14-4 performance so far from kido, and an 8-2 score for Big.
Yeah, I mean, for a while it was hard to kind of talk about kido because it kind of felt like he was the scapegoat of the team. He would be the guy to get replaced if they bring someone new in. And recently, you know, he's been doing extremely well. And I even have considered him a veteran when I talked about this team at a certain point, because now he's one of the team players who has the most experience overall, with Tizian out, with some of the new guys coming in, and syrsoN honestly is even relatively new compared to kido, right? I mean, I don't know exactly, I can't remember. I'd have to go back and check. Been a lot of moving pieces on Big, but yeah, he's seen a lot. kido's seen a lot for sure.
Man got relegated down to the We Play Academy League for a little while, right? In place of Tizian, so.
Yeah, which is a boon to the Academy League, but as a player, that's got to hurt the confidence when you think about what you mean to the roster. But it's tough. Those decisions have to be made, and it's not necessarily personal at all.
I think he had a great attitude about it. You know, said he saw it as a chance to just prove everybody wrong, saw it as a motivator, chance to help out Big as an organization. Right. Still felt like he was part of the clan.
Yeah, it's a good example of how to be if you're ever in that situation.
Egoless in a way.
Yes, and look what it's netted them.
Came back better than ever.
Yeah, so I mean, that'll, no matter how hard you work, that'll give you a little boost. You know, just to remember that nothing is forever. Always going to be someone right on your heels when you're playing CS. So syrsoN now walking this back a little bit. No flash support behind him. He can take one peek after a flash comes, but they're not actually setting one up, so they might cross.
Whoa.
And
sinnopsyy, look at that, through mid.
Oh!
Catches it with the Galil. And a second over towards the corner. Huge round from sinnopsyy. k1to left looking like a clown as he lost track of that mid play. He'll recover it back at least with one. We've got Crimbo still deep down inside that pit. And Bad News Eagles trying to get their way into this bomb site will plant, no doubt about it.
k1to's moving fast here, and he will get spotted. Ooh, damage.
Thought maybe he would go unchecked, but we found out CT's transition into the save, so shout out sinnopsyy.
Dude, they do some interesting stuff. Like, BNE do not play like other teams whatsoever. That's a faster strat. There's a giant risk where there can't be anybody holding onto mid, so I'm not sure how they knew or how they got that guy off, but they ended up running out through the mid smoke into their CT smoke. And once sinnopsyy did that, maybe that's the flash call to say, hey, go cat now, we can do this. I'm getting too far with this lurk, and I'm not sure how to turn it into anything else. Once that smoke comes up in CT spawn, he can no longer be there in CT spawn himself, or he's going to be rendered useless. So actually very important that his team was willing to organize really quickly behind that. And I think that is, again, a focal point of BNE, is that if they've got something, an opportunity in front of them, they don't think too much about what the plan was out of spawn. They're ready to go. And that's why this works so well.
Love a team with that decisiveness. You know, nobody's kind of reined in, it feels like, with the BNE squad. You see a gap, you take it. Grouping up into the tunnels. It's looking like the B hit. Sin on his own for a moment. Ooh, the new kid on the block finds...
He's blocking him.
Yeah, a little bit of space inside that smoke. Didn't know if they got beyond him or if they're just walking right into him, and sure enough, they cut him down. Is Big calling it quits?
I think so. 4v4 retake on the B side. I don't know about that.
They're out.
Yeah, Sin got fully flashed, and even though he's body blocking them, which is a little bit of comedy, the problem is that because they know they can't get into the site, I mean, they're just going to start shooting wildly, right?
For sure.
It's actually better off waiting in that smoke, letting them cross. Well, they're still hanging out, and they actually got a nade kill. Are they actually going for this?
Dunked on.
It's so late to just come back and reorganize, but here they are.
They could be preying on their chances, but paying a fatal price. Could have been a four-man save. They get nothing more from that. They just lose two. syrsoN's going to chop down the chasers. k1to as well, swinging the big green, so double op saved here for Big. Unless somebody switches back.
Maybe they just decided, like, we can afford to make this expensive and go
and they did.
even. Yeah, so it's quite costly here for BNE, losing majority of their players.
But, you know, poor Sin just turns into a speed bump, essentially, on the entry. Feels like maybe if he didn't eat that flash, he would have been as helpless, but
is half or even more of the job when it comes to anchoring.
Down he goes. GXX peeking into two offers.
And they're picking mid, taking long control, and they've got it.
They'll walk away alive. GXX jumps down into the pit. He'll see nobody as Big position further towards Cat. And I like this from Big, active inside of the tunnels, so clearing out other parts of the map, getting that control. Sin not going to waste much more time. syrsoN worried about maybe somebody still holding top middle, and it is kind of the case. sinnopsyy deep in T-spawn. Bad News Eagles have time.
Well, finally, just a more regular attack here. Long control, slowly into the hit with the CTs knowing that it's coming. And starting to organize.
Crimbo's going through.
Wow, he
flashed.
finds one, doesn't even see anything, just threw that smoke. Perfect crosshair placement on the lineup. Straggler here.
Ooh, that also goes the way of Big, so suddenly Bad News Eagles with a health disadvantage and a man disadvantage, and 40 seconds left on this clock are going to have to press into the long cross, and they get this hailstorm of utility that stuns them. On Flatro, regaining vision, they'll go for the boost. I believe there's a player over top. Scenario looking for the impact. syrsoN, he's just going to find his corner in Ninja.
Oh, they want to wait this out, but it's just going to be so close.
Oh, easy.
Oh my God, Crimbo from beneath.
4 kills on that exact play. 1 the first time and 3 on the repeat. Big dismantle round 13.
And we're not even sure if he could see anything. Cut him down by the legs. The first peek, he was fully in the smoke. Just lined it up, trusted the flash, and didn't want to overcommit, and that was a great idea. Second peek is something else. Shout out to Sin as well for being aware of the potential for a late player up cat that hadn't happened before.
Honestly,
and he found him out.
I think Sin's been doing an incredible job as like a call-in stand-in, right? Like, it's tough to replace Favin. That was an iteration of Big that looked like everything was starting to gel.
Definitely.
And honestly, dude, Crimbo, as much as we want to sing Keto's praise and talk about syrsoN's generally consistent op impact, sometimes, you know, absent on land, but when it hits, it hits. Crimbo has, since his original kind of, you know, thriving first moments in Big, fallen off, tapered off, became more support, and just kind of didn't get his fragging feet back beneath him. But he's 14-5 at the moment. Big leading by 5 rounds. And bad news, Eagles having to limp into this with a Tech 9 on Scenary. rigoN all the way to the corner before tabseN finally gets his hands on him, and a 5v4 yet again. So bad news, Eagles, round after round, having to play from the back foot.
Yeah, clearly they were trying to scare them off along on this one, but in this position, Big with 3 were ready to commit. So the wrong round, but it's just a gamble, and B&E pay the price in the form of 1 player. No AK on Scenary, but an op to supplant that for GXX. Let's see if he can make some work happen.
You saw that jump to Goose, but can't hone in on it because syrsoN's got the cover laid down. tabseN with the supportive flash. oneFlotro gets behind box, and he's looking to hold as sinnopsyy gets his impact. Remember, Crimbo spotted, but tabseN shoots oneFlotro in the back of the head from the ramp of CT spawn, and now it's double man advantage for Big yet again. We get this quick evacuation, the fallback, and it's met by utility. sinnopsyy nearly killing Sin on the crossover, and he's going to go into the tunnels at the 40-second mark.
They got them to obsess over the Goose player and then just protected them with 2 different layers. So
shout out tabseN.
Yeah. And syrsoN as well over there on the ramp.
Remember, GXX, no armor at the moment.
He's just hoping he's still there.
Yeah, hanging on.
I know you're there.
Crimbo, meanwhile, swapping to the op on ramp. sinnopsyy is going to have to try and take this into his own hands. First kill's clean, but you don't check Keto, you go down. And now GXX, you've got 7 seconds for the save.
Yeah, he doesn't want to.
Just save, my friend.
That kill is cute, but we're going into the last round. They want to have every dollar that they can spend, so GXX, he'll have no nades on this next round, unless they want to drop him any. Everybody else will put together whatever they can, and it looks like Big are in a very good position to make this an 11-4 half.
On a map that I think we know they're comfortable on the offense, the fact that syrsoN is shooting hot at 13-5 right now, you know, the pieces for a big victory here, clear as day. Which, putting Big into the 2-0 pool, I don't know. I didn't have that one. Of course, still 6 rounds to win. Sin takes to the top of the boxes, and bad news, Eagles, despite that early presence, just wane away. Bomb and spawn here, no rush. But very important round. Got to get that 5th. Damn, I just noticed. oneFlotro has 1 kill.
I think it was nice, that's why.
1 frag, man. Yo.
Yeah.
That's not the everyday oneFlotro.
Yeah, it could be less, but not by a lot.
Could be like 1 less. Well, you sprinkle some team kills in. Oh, that is a hefty frag grenade chucked from bottom mid, banked off the cat wall.
He doesn't even
And from the other side, that one less impactful, but still delicious. Bad news, Eagles getting tenderized on the catwalk.
Spent a little bit too much time here this half.
Met by a Molotov.
And now
Can't
they're wondering
run through it.
they wonder if there's a guy at top mid waiting for them, if they're sitting in the tunnels.
Ugh, it's bleak. It's desperate, but it's their final attempt on this T side. They're gonna all run up Cat. Crimbo and syrsoN tucked on ramp, flashes up above them, and an op that simply won't stop connecting. rigoN gonna try to close that distance, his head blown clean off. And with the deagle, syrsoN looks to close. It's Crimbo back to the kill feed, and 5 members strong for big, an 11-round CT side. A strong showing from Keto, Crimbo, syrsoN, and tabseN, with a particularly missing Juan Flatro, has led us to an 11-4 score for big in this 1-0 game. Secure this best-of-1 victory, you've got yourself at least 3 chances to close in on that Legends stage. It's a tough comeback for the Bad News Eagles if they'll mount it on this map, but we know they've got the heart, we know they've got that LAN edge, and it's time to find out if they can pull it all together from this CT side. They've got 2 flashes, they've got all 5 players towards mid and B, so it's early tunnels info sure enough, but big have gone long.
Yeah, I think if big win this game, of course, it's going to be the very common talking point that, oh, well, why did BNE let it come here? And you know, if you ask Juan Flatro, he said that's just not what they're focused on. They like it. They think they can win, and so they're going to play what they're comfortable on. But it doesn't change the facts. Doesn't change the facts. Big are very good Dust2 team. And they're probably very happy about the map going in this direction. Of course, the best team probably in the world at taking long control and converting.
Ooh, you love that.
On the crosses. Ooh.
rigoN in with the 2 USP kills. Crimbo has exchanged positions with rigoN, who continues to tear them up.
Okay.
He's got he's
not done.
USP headshots so far. Are we talking about that USP ace? No, it's taken back. Crimbo, damn you. It would have been beautiful. But the defuse here from GXX, that's the cherry on top. He does enough. rigoN, nice start to the second half.
No kidding, man. Very few bullets used in that 4K. That was quite a hold from him. Gonna get the defuse off, planted for Cat. Crimbo going into CT just to look for him, and ends up the last one alive and useless from that position because of the post plant. So, sneaky move from Crimbo in the first place to get into that corner, but rigoN saves it totally.
Game on.
Yeah, this helps.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Makes things interesting. I feel like Bad News Eagles, you know, sometimes, if we go back to Antwerp, right, their shortcomings were on their T sides. And even when they had substantial leads, it was the offense that kind of betrayed them. We're now witnessing them on the defense, so
But
let's see.
Yeah, but Big don't have a problem playing their offense.
Sure.
They don't have a problem, especially on Dust2, and this is a big reason why they pick it. I mean, the CT side is great, but their even strength and they didn't just double layer their smokes, right? No, okay, they look good. Yeah, the thing is for being any team, they know long control gets taken, slowly the T's cross. Oh wow, they're actually not ready for this at all. They're really late to throwing their counter utility, and the quiet cross early seems to be working out quite well. Juan Flatro, lots of pressure on him. CT's coming up though.
rigoN wants to thrive in all this chaos, and syrsoN comes out from the side of the smoke. They're going to hold on to the long control. Juan Flatro comes through with the kill. GXX, the no-scope scout shot. syrsoN had a chance, but sinnopsyy's going to smother the car. We've got 3 strong standing from Bad News Eagles.
They got a little confused. They didn't molly elbow, and they started to push out as well towards the smoke, and they just couldn't figure out where anybody else was. But that's not a moment where you normally see Big get rattled. They had a lot of map control. But the CTs, they were coming in fast, man. They were coming in through CT on that early rotation, and they wanted to help Juan Flatro, who put himself in a really useful but interesting spot. Actually, he might have smoked the molly, and then they tried to approach on the side to kill anyone else. That maybe makes a bit more sense.
Shout out GXX for the back-to-back jumping scout no-scopes. The tag
That is
and the
so
bag.
hard to do. Only accurate at the apex.
Yeah, hit them both. GXX now. Ooh, makes it look easy. M4A1S churns out 3 kills on the catwalk. And all of a sudden, it's just a 4-round lead.
It is, it is. And we have the buy coming in again with the op and play and Big. They've been given long control, and maybe they overthought it the last time around. We do see a faltering Big on a couple of these attacks, so we'll see how they feel about it. But yeah, again, having that be in their back pocket at all times, knowing that they're comfortable taking it, is where you better believe they're going to get at least a few of their rounds. Here they go again.
Little pocket there for tabseN to work with, but doesn't find the mark, despite 3 players of Bad News Eagles being here on long.
Yeah, they were ready to lead out with that. Now, normally if you know that there are 3 CTs, you can try to squeeze for mid control early on and test to catch a lurker rotating back in through CT spawn. But they also know if they keep the middle of the map closed off that it's a 2-3. So it depends if BNE have given them enough audibles to know that this is the setup. But now what can be on Big's mind is, well, how do we get them to rotate and maybe still take A? Or how do we go mid-B and avoid it? And GXX, looking up from below, takes out Keto and survives with 93 health. That's almost all of them.
Nearly. It's like 93%. CT flash comes from the B site. Bad News Eagles take a glance towards mid doors. Crimbo supporting syrsoN and now taking to the front of this push.
They're still trying to look for that insecure CT defender, but they've been calm.
GXX now, he's locked into this corner. If he goes back peeking towards mid, then he's going to find himself in the scope of syrsoN. There it was, and there it went. Man advantage just evaporates. 20 seconds though, so it's going to have to be the commitment into the A site at this point. Sin in the forefront. Crimbo, last piece of utility.
15.
Ooh, it lands inside the site. One Flatro's got that golden flashbang. He pops up with it, and he's got 2 kills. The bomb falls at the ground, and tabseN comes around from long, but kills cannot be found fast enough. And now syrsoN needs to live. He tags sinnopsyy. He's going to get rushed. This is crucial, and syrsoN holds on.
Jesus. Okay, the 3 kills at the end, kind of. That's a little silver lining here for Big. That was a rough round with the amount of time it took. They finally got that idea going. You could see they're constantly searching for that third A player, trying to figure out how to take advantage of him in CT, rotating back and forth, either saying, get over to B and we'll kill you then, or we'll find you while you're there. And they did do a good job of both. Watching the B window while attacking CT spawn, pressuring long at the same time, it just all took too much time.
Leaves Big in an awkward place here.
Oh, they would really hate this buy, but now a gun has actually been left inside of the mid doors.
keto got it. One Flatro's position known.
Oh, that aggressive maneuver could be very costly.
Scenario's real close.
Maybe not.
That's the gun back down in the dirt. A spare incendiary to be picked up right there for Scenary, so he'll grab it in a moment. sinnopsyy saw bodies. They're trying to get right through the smoke. What a spot! Just tucks along the box and gets 2 kills off Scenary's flashbang. Now syrsoN's on 22 health, and he's already gotten through the smoke, so he clips sinnopsyy, and all of a sudden it's tabs into the clutch, but GXX back plat, he's got it.
Okay.
2 op shots connect inside the site, and bad news Eagles within spitting distance of Big Clan.
That was a lovely maneuver. Now, with the speed that they were coming at, he thought, all right, if I get out on the side of this box, they're going to scale on the right side and just try to rush me down. They're not going to jump up and fight over this one way after I got spotted. So that was pretty smart thinking from him, and he really took advantage of that really underplayed position that you almost never see someone in. And it's all because of that T-smoke that comes out as lurk smoke that helps him do it. So now it's a 2-round game. Bad news Eagles in their comfort zone. Big looking for kind of any success now. What was it, 11-4 half or was it 10-5? It was 11-4, right?
11-4, sir.
Yeah, 11-4. Nothing yet here for Big. They've got long control successfully a couple of times. But the thing is that it's a Greek gift, right, from BNE. They're happy to give them long control. They are comfortable fighting from the site, and they know that Big are going to try to go for that.
Yeah. Oh, look at this one. Flatro straight to the top of mid. keto, he's got the trade. Look like syrsoN gets caught off. tabseN frags back with the Tech 9. So, I mean, minute 40 mark, and we're already down to the 3 versus 3. Big can still continue on their journey towards long. It's going to be a sole defender in GXX and his op. But the aggression from Bad News Eagles already through tunnels. But keto seems to have wind of this. Aware of the possibility, they're starting to crawl back, and sinnopsyy getting into the corner just in time. He wins the duel, sees the bomb. Up next is tabseN, and 2 for 1 from sinnopsyy. That is critical. Inside the deep T spawn, Crimbo caught off, because why the hell is Scenary also pushing?
Yeah, there's just more of them. They just keep on coming, and that's the pressure they need to keep applying, man. And that's just staying true to their game, and that's what One Flatro was talking about. He's not worried about how good the other team is, what they like to do. And he said, I respect them and everything like that, but at the end of the day, that's just not their top of the priority list for them.
Right.
And that's why they win big.
Right.
That's why they can do it.
I think this is, we just had that match with Outsiders where like, well, if things start going round for round, back and forth, we're going to finish 25 to 30 round games. I think Bad News Eagles, their identity is just streaks, right? You actually want them to lose the lead in the first half so that they can kind of make a comeback. And if you give them that start towards momentum, you see it emotionally. They'll just snowball. And again, enabled, I think, by a CT side. It's less likely to happen if they start on the defense, but this is their bread and butter. And right now, Big getting smothered. Not a single terrorist round win so far for the Germans.
Yeah, that is worrying.
But at least a bye. keto, caught by that frag, dropped to 80. We've got 2 CTs just on the other side of doors, and right now, Big are kind of just floating in a place where GXX could start to find them. catches tabbsN with the first shot, falls into the cover. He's got support on the other end. Next up's rigoN. rigoN tries to fall away and lucky to be alive.
Yeah, he had was it a weapon switch? I think he felt like he didn't mean to do that or something, but he got some damage off. Sin finds a kill. Ooh, one Flatro compromise spot, single box.
Time to play. Tough first half. One Flatro keeps it clean. 2 headshots off the catwalk, but dropped by syrsoN into the 2v2. We've got 30 seconds to the clock. rigoN wants to come up and deal with Sin, but he gets found out unsuspecting. As he looked to turn his attention back towards site, sinnopsyy, 1v2's just gonna run right at this. syrsoN keeps his head tucked, staying down in sight. Now all of a sudden, that Opper honing in, looking to chisel away sinnopsyy's hopes, but an opening onto the bomb site. And sinnopsyy has a smoke grenade. He drops that front sight, he sticks this defuse. Now he has Sin's position confirmed, and this is his. He's gonna jump right on top of that, and Sin can do nothing to stop it. Bad news, Eagles tie.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well played and well called out by you. In that position, that smoke down, head down. It's so hard to find your target. It's planted for long plat, but Sin is just searching with bullets, and I'm sure he felt hopeless in that moment as well. Juan Flatro clipping wings on the cross, doing a good job of it. He got his 2. The trade came through, but this 1v2 is beautiful by the way he played off of syrsoN, right? Pressuring the peak on the box, knowing he could approach at any second, but staying at those weaved baskets and holding for the exact peak that would come his way. I think from the perspective of syrsoN, the way that he swung on the very last moment really rattled him. Ooh,
down it
rigoN
goes.
finds another. syrsoN out early, and this could be a lead for BNE.
Despite syrsoN putting up 22 kills at the moment.
Yeah.
This time he just kind of gets caught between that double peak. rigoN drops the incendiary. Sin looking for his kill towards mid. Easy pickups. He just continues to fight, and now you can see it, that bolstered aggression. The snowball effect, very real. The emotions, the adrenaline.
Yeah, they're not letting this go. That is very impressive.
That
we saw a
bad
big
news Eagle identity.
We saw a big on the other side of this versus Furia on Vertigo a few hours ago. Certainly looks like a two-way street with them. We've seen, again, you know, CT sides be very friendly today. Bad News Eagles taking advantage of being on the defense. Money is abysmal here for Big Clan. They have syrsoN on 6K. Outside of that, I don't think they could scrape together a buy with 2 players. So we'll see what they want to do. And it looks like it's going to be evening out the money. That'll be priority number 1. Huge B defense. Double layering here with the high-low setup on CT.
Yeah, multiple times, right? 2 separate 2-man plat attacks.
Bigger definitely getting outgunned right now. I think that's also the case. We've seen a few decent positions, but they're really not standing up to the individuals of BNE.
Oof, and a bolstered setup on Cat. 2 shots, both connect. The USP's out, and that's going to be the end of him. Oh, Tech9's come charging up the catwalk.
That's Tech9 with tempo, with an op.
Yikes. sinnopsyy, tucked inside of the ramp, awaits this onslaught from the catwalk, and he times his peak to perfection. Despite Keto's best efforts to get the entry and the follow-up, now it's Sin's chance. A nade that goes flying over, and sinnopsyy right back to the fight. So now it's Crimbo's turn. He's got bomb, and he's got both CTs on this A site.
Yeah, he's trying to get a gun. I mean, he knows that they're here, so I'm sure he's going to go back to the other site.
Armored, utility, he's got it all.
He's trying to game this and see if the rotation's going to come in. It must look weird, right? From BNE's perspective, or sorry, from Big's perspective, BNE, 2 players dedicated to A still at this point of the round versus what felt like a low buy. Why wouldn't they come over? But, you know, Crimbo's not seeing anybody, so why not make his way over now? There's a chance to plant. They are so far away from this. I mean, they are really giving Crimbo a chance here. I think they have bad info on where the ball must have been. And now, as they head back, we'll see. Crimbo, this is why he was hired, to win clutch rounds. And he has the space to do it.
Gets up onto the window. I thought that was a sitting duck, but sinnopsyy reacts fast enough, and Crimbo, no chance in that 1v2.
That could have been a game-winning clutch right there. That one kill, and then suddenly the skybox odds, they shift in favor of a Crimbo very heavily, but sinnopsyy very sharp.
If he had that instant reaction to shoot, but I mean, you see sinnopsyy look in the wrong direction, so yeah, line it up. However, the next time sinnopsyy peeks at you, he's staring you in the eyes, down you go, and 2-round lead for Bad News Eagles.
Yeah, but, you know, up until that point, it would have been very lucky for Big to pull off anything. We got this, you know, Tech 9 performance from kido and Sin. Sin even gets another one inside of CT spawn, and that's about as hairy as it gets. That's the closest Big have come to winning a round.
Only 3 bomb plants across it. Makes you think back to that rigoN 4K USP play.
Yeah, I mean, if BNE win this round, it is officially their game to lose. Damn. Economy on their side, Big potentially saving it. Ah, what a way to start.
Nasty. Shaves off kido, the man who kick-started that last round in an attempt to get up catwalk. And shout out Juanflotro, up to 10 and 18 now. Huge recovery since that very real struggle in the first 15.
You're watching a 1-0 matchup right now, folks. And it looked like, you know, Big were not a shoo-in, but the favorite. And it seems like BNE are now looking like the potential suitors for that position.
Mid-utility thrown out. CT's on high alert, but nobody holding the catwalk. We just get sinnopsyy starting to trail back into CT spawn. A lock-in from syrsoN on Goose. There's a chance for this long play to go south for either team, but Juanflotro is going to find his corner and hold on. Back towards mid goes Sin.
Ooh, got to be careful with those grenades because they're watching this position. GXX spotting as well as they run up cat.
There's
another
syrsoN
dead player in a molly.
From the corner, gets his impact already, and Big just trying to tread water in a massive ocean. Crossing catwalk, they get in, but then they go down yet again. Sin, oh, he's got 2 at least, but so little health, you'd think this is impossible. 14 for Bad News Eagles, a flawless CT side so far.
Yeah, Orgless, by the way. This team looks like they are not close to stopping. And again, they got through that huge buy round. There is a turning point here for Big. I mean, there's a big decision to be made. It's the CTs who call the attack pause. It is the Big clan who have enough money. They're teetering. They can buy. And I think that it's going to be so tempting, right? You're not going to have the op on syrsoN, but with $4,400, you're probably going to make that decision. But there was a huge psychological advantage for BNE now. There's an economic advantage, and there's just a read advantage. If you know that an op can't be bought again, if they've done the math, they'll be able to figure it out that this is very unlikely. So I think they treat this simply like an anti-eco. They play their own op advantage, their double op advantage. They're actually looking at syrsoN with a scout, and I can understand why. If there's one guy you would want to have that in a round like this where you could afford an AK, it's definitely syrsoN, but this is a clear advantage to the CT side.
tabseN on the entry. Smoke on the corner gives them that at least, but it is tabseN and tabseN alone. Everybody else back towards middle.
Well, they win blue with his shoes. It's actually Rox's CT setup, and we can see they don't have good positions right now, and the Ts are coming in quickly. They smoke cat very quickly, but they still don't have a home here. Once this smoke comes up, the ball is still in BNE's court to make a further move.
Oh,
what a shot.
Just through the side of the smoke, Juanflotro finds kido. 5v4, BNE shooting for number 15. Juanflotro falls off the catwalk setup. Now remember, from the start of this round, we have had Big on long, and despite their best effort to fight up catwalk, now it's this long cross that could compromise everything for BNE. They boost back up, Sin's gonna keep him busy, but they cross with no smokes. tabseN comes through with 2. It's him and syrsoN versus another 3. syrsoN up next, and rigoN covers from a distance. A scout is all that's left, and it's 4 map points for Bad News Eagles.
Wow, they're almost doing it right here, and once again, still have not lost a round so far in this second half.
Flawless.
That is insane, man. And that attack right there was the best organization from Big. I mean, they took blue control, they held on to long, and just as Bad News Eagles were between two minds about what part of the map they wanted to take, they made the smallest adjustment to peek off the corner of their cat smoke with a flash. Juanflotro got his kill. That eased off the pressure, and they never forgot about long. Even when that attack came in, even though it was very timely, they were still using 3 players looking in all different directions, not getting tunnel vision and not getting scared. That's the scariest part for the Bad News Eagles. Even when they're in bad spots, they're just willing to adapt, improvise all the time, and Big are not ready to do that at the moment.
Man, having to climb back up catwalk into the waiting hands of Sin.
It looked so messy, and they still looked calm.
These guys climbing the castle walls as the crossbows stare down on them. Sin just gets overwhelmed by it. And all of a sudden, every piece of Bad News Eagles is coming together. Juan Flatro up to 13. The floor of that scoreboard has risen dramatically. And Big have been entirely shut out.
Remember, both of these teams are looking at this as like one of the potentially easier games that they could get, evenly matched. You know, it's a tough feeling on day one at these and the challenger stage. It always is. This can very easily be 2-2 for you before you know it. And you want to make sure you don't want to give away any of your chances. Big, they were happy about this veto. They wanted to be here. This was feeling like a gift.
He didn't catch that. He didn't see the mid spot. GXX trying to dive back. syrsoN's still not doing anything about it. GXX lands the shot onto Crimbo. And if this was meant to be their finally breakout moment, well, it gets absolutely smothered. sinnopsyy deep through tunnels, and you tell me that Bad News Eagles can't do whatever they damn well please. When they want it, whatever they want, it's theirs on this defense. And poor syrsoN, despite his standout performance on Dust2, 22 kills already, and he has been found out. He'll drop sinnopsyy, but there's still 4 more Eagles to try and cut down. And with this final push, into the T-spawn they'll go, and into the 2-0 pool as well. Knives out, they flood forward. A phenomenal first day for the Bad News Eagles. A 2-0 pool secured, and that means 3 attempts to do it again. 3 attempts to get themselves into the Legend stage. Bad News Eagles soaring forward on the opening day of the Rio Major.